Hello and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast. This is a show where we talk about everything pop culture random in the world. My name's Mick, and I'm joined by Dave.
Wait, that's not Colby?
The order's supposed to go Colby,
And
Colby,
Will.
Dave, me,
And
Will,
Colby.
Landon. Okay.
All right. Well, everybody's here today, so
Yeah, the whole gang.
The whole game. It's Jesse's birthday today.
It's a Remote Keys podcast.
November 4th.
Oh, yeah,
Happy birthday, Jesse.
Jesse would have been 30 today.
Um,
I'm just kidding.
If not
Jesse.
for the terrible accident.
Yeah.
Is it really Jesse's birthday today?
mhm.
Yeah.
He's 30.
Okay. There we go.
The big 3-0.
Wow.
Hey,
He's
you just
almost
posted in your
assuredly a third of the way through his life, if not more.
okay. All right.
What's wrong with you?
So Landon's been thinking about death a lot.
Dude,
Yep.
we all have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, ever since a couple events happened.
Yeah.
What?
Rip Creighton, man. Like,
Um,
So,
Dude,
Dune. You guys want to talk about Dune?
Yeah.
I didn't understand it. I'm too stupid.
No, like, you're not too stupid. Like, if you watch it a second time, I think you'll pick up more.
As of now, it stands at a 6 out of 10 because I'm too stupid. to
wait,
understand it.
what did you not get? I feel like not a ton happens plot-wise in the movie, so...
We're gonna.
I
Be,
just felt like
we're
I
gonna
was
be
missing
spoiling.
context.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
just going to be spoiling the movie, so
Yeah,
Spoil
all
the
of us
movie,
have
which is
seen it.
basically like the first half of the
Dude,
movie.
hopefully you guys can
Spoiler
spoil
alert.
it for me because I didn't get it.
Like, what do you mean? You
it's
don't
like, it was
get it?
really
Like,
easy to understand, I felt like.
I feel like that's like looking at a math equation and being like, I don't get it. I just don't.
I also have a
is that like
confession
such a foreign concept, you will? Because I can relate to that very.
I was going to say,
easily.
that might be a bad example, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I'm so smart.
No, that's not. My point is that there
We'll
should be
get
like
your
a
bachelor's
process of
degree
like,
and all of a
oh my
sudden-
gosh, no, stop. I didn't mean it that way. I meant more of like,
Mick was right about you.
oh, what do you mean? What's that supposed to mean?
Colby, he doesn't know. We're supposed to say anything.
What were you going to say, Colby? About,
About my confession.
yes, about
You know,
your,
I'm gonna head out.
yeah, your confession about the movie.
It's for the best. I ruined my own experience watching the movie. I watched it on HBO Max, and I didn't finish it all the way through, so I had to finish it like 2 days later. So
Oh, yeah,
maybe
you
that's
ruined
why-
it.
Maybe
You ruined
that's why I don't know.
Why'd you stop?
I fell asleep.
I was going to say, he probably got sleepy. It's cold.
I was so tired. It was past 9.
I know I'm like the old man. In
I was
the
going to say,
group,
we
but,
joke about
Colby,
Landon being
like,
old, but
Colby goes to
Colby's...
bed at like 9 o'clock, like every night. And it's like you're 21 years old. You go to bed at like 9. Like,
Colby's like, glass of
No.
warm 1% milk, and then I can go to sleep.
No, stop. So what didn't you get though specifically?
Yeah.
Like what didn't
Dune.
you understand?
he did get the Dune.
Dune's a planet. Dune's the name
It's
for
like a
Arrakis.
nickname.
I know,
Yeah, it's
I
a
know,
nickname
yeah.
for the planet. It's not really even
That's
the...
what the Baron says. My Arrakis, my Dune.
Yeah.
I just felt like
The Baron's probably the best character in the movie. He's so funny.
He's
I don't know. I
he's
felt like I was just
creepy.
missing context.
I like
Like,
when
what-
he's like up in the ceiling, like after like the toxic stuff, whatever. He's just like curled up, like
Yeah.
yeah. Like I was like, I thought that was funny.
He's kind of like a humanoid Jabba the Hutt, sort of.
Yeah.
Except like a way eviler job of the Hutt.
I don't know. Jabba did some messed up stuff, man.
I didn't see no
He
slave
slayed
Leias with.
Did
You should-
Jabba?
If you read the book, he's way more messed up than Jabba.
Yeah,
I'll
Jabba
just say
didn't hire
that.
the Sardaukar, you know, the like the evil like prison warriors, basically.
Yeah.
Doesn't. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Sardaukar? Is that?
I
is that
think.
what it is?
Sardaukar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I understand of the Baron in the books, he's like a terrible thing.
Yes.
He's not even a person, right?
No,
What
he's
is
a
he?
person,
No,
but
he's a
like
person.
he's really evil. Like not
He's a bad boy.
he's a
Well,
bad
he's
man.
he does some messed up stuff. I don't know if they'll put that in the movies, but yeah, he does some messed up stuff.
Yeah.
See, I didn't get that.
What, dude?
Go
Like,
with-
You still haven't
It's in the book.
explained what you
like,
don't.
He's like, oh,
well, you
What
haven't
don't you
explained. Like
understand?
you said you don't have context, but like, what
Yeah.
context did you feel like you were missing?
If I known, then I wouldn't
Oh my
feel
god.
like I was missing it.
Okay, so how about
yeah,
you go
you are
through?
stupid.
How about you go
Do
through
yourself a favor. Don't ever watch Game of Thrones. Like, if you couldn't like figure this out.
You can watch season
I
5 through 8 probably though.
Don't be
Yikes.
mean.
Listen, I'm just saying, like,
I just need to watch it again. That's what I need. One
like-
sitting.
Did you not pay attention? Like, is that maybe part of the problem, or
I would. No, I paid attention.
did you watch it with any people?
I don't believe you.
yeah, I did.
Did you watch it with? A
Oh,
girl?
really? Who?
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. There we
Okay,
go.
okay.
No.
No, dude,
Colby's
I paid
excused.
attention.
Colby's excused. Okay, yeah. Rewatch the movie
Like,
sometime,
yeah.
Colby. And
Dude, Colby's got the biggest smile on his face. Like,
I've watched movies with girls before. You know, it's
You don't
can get
ever remember what you're watching.
distracted.
Like,
I watched it.
no, you did not. No, you did not.
What were you watching, Colby?
Now it makes sense. He's like, I feel like I'm just missing context. He's like, it really means, yeah. I feel like I should have just looked at the movie once. Like,
I was watching the. Yeah, no. it's
Okay,
fine.
so
he
for-
probably
for-
doesn't remember anything by the time they got to like
for
Dune or whatever. Like,
for those of us who watched the movie,
all of us.
what what were your thoughts? Like, Will and I have read the book. Mick and Landon, I don't think have. Or Mick, did you listen to the full audiobook?
I got about halfway through.
Okay, so like about the movie
And then
essentially.
you're gonna finish it
Pretty much.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've seen it twice. I saw it once in IMAX, and then I saw it on HBO Max.
I saw it in IMAX. I thought it was a great
I saw it on
IMAX
HBO.
experience.
It was,
I
yeah.
saw it twice in IMAX. It's really good.
I normally
Excellent
don't
IMAX.
try to see things in IMAX, but this movie, I think, just with the scope of the movie and the effects and the tall ships, I think it really benefited from the IMAX experience, especially with the sound too. Like, I think IMAX always has a different like surround sound system.
Or at least there's some placebo effect that makes us think there is. So I always enjoy
No.
the IMAX sound better
No.
because I'm like expecting
No
better sound.
placebo.
But Mick is right. There's the scale of so many things in the movie. I think really benefits seeing it in IMAX. But that's one thing I really liked about this movie in particular is that the scope of so many things is just ginormous. Like the ships in particular, the makers, the armies,
sandworms.
the planet. Oh yeah, the makers or the what are they called? The Shadra. Will, what are they?
I can't remember.
Shogai or something like that. But
Wow,
It
some
ends with
fan of
I.
Dune you are.
AI, I think. Like Leah Kynes says it in the movie really briefly right before she, gets swallowed up by the sandworm. But
the scale of so many things in that movie is so big. And I really like that, especially from a sci-fi movie where I feel like sometimes the scale of space and spaceships doesn't really seem all that big or grand. And I really enjoyed that from this movie. That's one thing that I just like every time there was a spaceship on scene, I was just soaking it all in. I loved every scene that basically had anything to do with the space or traveling.
I liked how foreign it was. Like usually, sometimes in sci-fi, like the popular sci-fi, like Star Wars and Star Trek,
It's like Space
you
America.
have some you have some semblance of normal society, but like in Dune, it's just like completely different all across the board, and that's what I think what kind of makes it special. So
Yeah, and for it being, it's hard to think of it this way, but Dune was written and released before Star Wars.
It was in the
inspired
60s,
Star
right?
Wars.
That Herbert
Yeah.
did that.
65, I think, is when the
65. Yep.
book was released. But yeah, and just the whole idea of like the chosen one character was kind of like everything that we've gotten since then kind of all goes back to Dune with Paul. So yeah, it's cool finally seeing the book being put to a film, because I think it's been, a good film. I'll say it.
So I'll tell you guys, I guess before we get even further into this, I watched the 2021 Dune, and then I came home and I watched the 1984 Dune that same day. The 1984 Dune, not as good as the 2021.
Really?
Yeah, I would say
it has
a flaw or two.
You can't appreciate the classics, you know. You just
I actually like the music.
New visuals.
I like the music in that movie. Beyond that, there wasn't a lot. I thought the acting was pretty poor from most of the actors. Even like what's his face, Picard.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, I didn't think was very good in the movie either. I don't know if it had anything.
He's Gurney Halleck, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Gurney. But that was it was a David Lynch movie. I feel like he probably wasn't a good fit for doing some weird epic space sci-fi. And I guess the studio throttled him a lot too on some things. So it was probably a mixture of like half of his creative input and then half of like a studio, which ended up like spitting out like a poopy movie. So
yeah, that happens all the time, unfortunately.
But yeah, I watched that after I saw the 2021 Dune, and 2021.
You like the 1981 more, right? Or...
No. But the music in the movie, that was what's his face, right, Mick?
Hans Zimmer.
Your boy Hans Zimmer.
My boy Hans.
It's so good. Like you appreciate it more the second time watching it because you kind of pick up more always on the second viewing, and it was just
I'm looking
so
forward
good.
to my second viewing. Which
no, you're looking forward to your first viewing, Colby. Like,
no, dude, no. This is my second.
You probably should
movie.
like hear the music more, like because like that's all you were like hearing was like the audio. So.
The cinematography,
apparently, Toto did the.
Yeah, Toto did the movie in the '84 version.
Oh no,
Mick, you said
blessed
you
the
went and
reins
saw
on
it
Arrakis.
Yeah, down in Arrakis.
What?
You said you went and saw it in IMAX.
Yeah.
What? Do we have an IMAX theater like here, or did you have to go somewhere else for that?
It's downtown at the AMC.
It's in the AMC, yeah, second floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I just wasn't sure.
I hate that theater. I think it's terrible. I've just been so. Yeah, it's awful.
We are brought to you by AMC theaters, so Nick
but
actually
they have
loves that theater.
I hate having to park there. I hate the seating in there. It's just awful. I've been really spoiled by.
The escalators scare me. They're so.
I guess the seating in the IMAX is like the old classic theater seats.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the other seats are they're like red leather recliners, right?
Yeah, their other theaters are like real small. They have it's like when I went and saw like Pig and the Green Knight there.
Yeah. Like
really small auditorium, like only like 40, 50 people. Which
yeah.
I like that smaller the seating.
Yeah, those aren't bad, but yeah, this is getting really local, but the Northtown Theater I think is just a lot nicer. Overall.
There's a Regal in one of the local malls we have, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah,
but if you're a schmuck like me and like to go see like the smaller movies, like Regal doesn't get them all the time. So yeah,
Art House Browning over like here, you know.
But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the movie. There were some issues I had with the pacing. I just thought overall it was kind of slow until like the very kind of last 20 minutes really picked up, but it didn't really take away my enjoyment from it. I still really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that it's getting a sequel. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's confirmed that they're doing part 2.
Well, I think all the best stuff in Dune happens in the second half of the book anyway. So I'm really glad because there's some really cool things that happen later in the story.
Power.
So
Desert power.
So this movie I think is intentionally slow, and it really does kind of just it sets you up for the rest of the movie and kind of like Paul's journey kind of. It's I would agree it's slow, but I really didn't have any issues with that for the most part.
I'm in the minority that I wish it was more drawn. I felt like too much happened.
Yeah, I felt the similar way. As a book reader, it's I wish there were 3 or 4 key scenes missing, and there was a couple plot points missing that I wish were in, which would have made it a more fleshed out experience. But the second viewing made me appreciate what they did more. If that makes sense. So like I felt better about what like the pacing, if that makes sense. So I thought I'm on my original viewing it went too fast. On the second one, like I kind of more fine with it, knowing that what they left out, they had to leave out for time. So
I think it was a really good adaptation of the book. There was a lot of like thoughts and internal things that you're not getting from the movie because it's a movie. I would say I think it was a fairly good adaptation for the book. Not to like bring up the 84 one again, but I think one reason they don't do like the inner monologue is they do that a lot in the 84 movie, and it's like the characters, they'll say something and then it like zooms in on their face, and then it's just like
it's like this, like
it zooms in on their face while they're like thinking thoughts, so like you hear their voice but they're not saying anything. And
dude.
The thoughts are always like
no.
It's like quiet whispers, like the spice melange, like the spice that they're going for. Arrakis, the planet we're going to. But it's like I'm glad they didn't do all these inner monologues for all these characters, because I think it probably would have just seemed too cheesy.
What did you think of Timothy Chalamet as Paul?
I thought he did a really good job.
I thought it was perfect.
He's kind of what I picture as someone like Paul. He might just be like a little bit too moody, maybe. Like I think maybe if he
a lot of this type of talking.
I just think if he maybe didn't seem as much like a moody teenager. In the book, I kind of get more of the feeling that he's almost like this emotionless person, or shows very little emotion. And in the movie, I think he showed a little bit more than what I would want from a character like that. But I thought, other than that,
wanted him to be more like a robot?
Well, in
just
the
a
book,
little bit
like
about Paul.
In the book, he's like a borderline psychopath,
kind of
towards the end, and in Dune Messiah, like he shows almost no emotion.
Yeah, now you're spoiling it for me.
No, he's a close
that's
to a
just his
psychopath.
character.
I know he survives. I know he survives through the first book. Gosh darn it! Oh.
Thanks, Will.
Will, they're joking.
I'm not.
Are they?
Yes, they are. They are.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the book now because like the movie, like I liked it. I thought it was okay.
You say that a lot every time. Like
Landon,
I do.
You're always like, "Oh, I'm gonna read this," and then you just don't. So.
I probably won't.
I'm
gonna
try. Expose you.
Well, you didn't even watch the movie, so.
Yes, I did.
But Colby had a better time than
Colby.
Any of us
Nobody
did.
believes
yes,
you.
I know he did. I know he had a better time than me.
I would agree. I think more than any book you've claimed that you should read after watching the movie, I think this is the one. Like
Paul.
I liked the movie. I would not have enjoyed it as much had I not read the book. Having read the book and then watching the movie, I really enjoyed the movie a lot. And I don't say that about a lot of films. So I really enjoyed this. I thought it was excellent.
I liked the visuals and stuff a lot. And then like
were...
my favorite thing in the story is the fact that like I don't know what the name of the people are, but like that group of like witches, like basically is
the Bene Gesserit.
That's right.
Yeah, like I love that like they basically are like convincing this group like over thousands of years, like they've basically like been trying to like convince this group of like desert people to like worship this dude. Like it's so messed up that like I'm like, oh, this is great. Like
dude, there's like they're so messed up. Like
that was I thought the most interesting. Like I don't, at least from the movie's representation, I did not find the whole like, oh, like this is a trap, like they're being sent here to die, like this whole like I didn't find that as like intriguing, because it's like, oh, it's a classic like these people are bad and they want like the resources and like they're going to turn on the good people, like that didn't appeal to me as much, at least the representation through the movie. But the stuff with Paul, like the fact that like he's some like basically like engineered like savior for these people, like also seems like a power play, like it's just to like control these people. So
you would like the second half of the book then, if you like are more the second, you'll like the second movie, like if you're more interested in, because all like the trap is sprung and that's it, like there's no more of that like build up, like it's all about where do we go from here in the second half, obviously.
There's nothing, and there's nothing morally gray about like the Baron. Like people, and, like they're just clearly like just like evil, like so like it's like he's like creepy, but like it's nothing like intriguing about like more like the side of the people like more pulling the strings is kind of interesting to me. So
one thing, another thing I I didn't really care for in the movie, and he wasn't in it that much, but every time he was, just kind of it didn't
I
work
know what
for
you're
me.
gonna say.
I think I've just come to realize I'm just not a fan of this actor. Dave Bautista's character is
Same.
just like so distracting to me in the movie, and it just
Who does he
I don't.
play?
I mean,
Do you mean Dave Bautista as Dave Bautista? Like,
yeah,
Yes,
basically.
I would agree. I would agree 100% with what Mick is saying.
Yeah. And I'm assuming he'll be in the second one probably more.
Well, he is like the nephew of the Baron that essentially, before the Harkonnens have to leave, he was ruling the planet in his stead. And now basically he's coming back to rule the planet again, but now just harsher than they originally were. So, yeah, he's...
Yeah,
he's not a good actor.
No, I think he's fine in the Guardians movies. Like that character works for him, but in a movie like this, it just is like, man, I don't know. Like it's kind of cringy.
Yeah, I think they
when
need
he's
someone with
talking
a little bit better chops.
like get the
Yeah.
Rock or something, you know?
Okay,
No.
okay.
There's certain there's certain actors like that. Like I'm not a big Jason Momoa fan. Like, but his character, like, it's Jason Momoa playing Jason Momoa in this movie, and
This
it works,
was
like, with,
my
like,
favorite role I've seen him in, though, because
He was awesome.
I also don't really like Jason Momoa, but I did not have the Dave Bautista effect that I had with Dave Bautista that I did with that I was afraid of having with Jason Momoa. So
I also think that this is like the best possible version of Duncan Idaho. Like they did so well with him in this movie. It's crazy.
He's only in the movie for like probably like 10 minutes though, like combined screen time. I
well,
feel
in
like.
the book, he's not in
he's
it
barely
that much.
in the book.
In the book, yeah.
Which is a
Okay.
bummer because he's got like the coolest name ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Duncan
no.
Idaho is awesome. Like that's a great name. Like, this might be a spoiler question for part 2, but does what's his face? Oh, what the heck is the actor's
Gurney
name?
Halleck, Josh Brolin.
Yeah, is he dead or is he? I mean, you can tell me. Like, I mean,
They didn't show his death on screen.
yeah, so he's probably alive.
He's
Like,
alive. So
He's
okay.
alive. Yeah, he might be, like some.
He might be.
spoilers
A
or
bad,
something. I
he
don't
might be a
know.
bad
Like, we'll
guy.
see.
Okay, yeah, he's definitely a bad guy.
I had like the same question to Will because I was like, did I just like not remember what happened to him? But yeah, he
It's left
clearly
open there.
has.
He's
yeah.
probably a traitor. Probably.
I like Gurney a lot.
Gurney is one of my favorite characters.
He
in
might
the
be my
novel.
favorite character in the first book. Him or Hawat, the Mentat.
For Hawat, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Oh my gosh, it's the
I
guy
don't
who
know.
the eyes roll. We talked about.
Okay,
this
yeah, I
before.
know. I
That's why
can't
oh my
remember. You
gosh, the
keep
eyes
saying all
roll
these
in the
weird
back of his head.
names, man. Like I don't remember. I just
Thurfer
remember.
No.
Hawat.
The,
He's
the
kind of
reason I
like-
said "oh my gosh" is because you've already asked the question. Like
I know,
2
but like,
days ago.
like they have all those weirdo names. Like,
Whoa, weirdo! Wow.
Landon, this is how I feel every time you guys talk about just like regular actors and actresses. Like I only know faces.
Colby should know because he has the weird like memory brain. So it is weird that there are things that Colby doesn't like just remember.
Actors and actresses.
But yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know their
Thurfer
names, I
Hawat,
don't
he's the
care.
one that he like his eyes roll back in his head.
yeah.
He
He's
does the calculations.
Yeah.
He's super like he's like the type. There's like certain people in that universe that are just like
human
basically
calculators.
robots.
Basically, is
Yeah,
what
they're
they
Real
human
are.
different.
calculators. That's what
And they're assassins.
Pitter, what his
Yeah,
name was?
Peter DeVries.
Peter DeVries.
Mhm.
That was what's his name from the Suicide Polka Dot Man's character.
And Brad
Oh.
Dourif in the original movie.
And who?
Brad Dourif.
Is that really Brad Dourif
Yes.
that played that part? Wow,
He's Wormtongue in.
Oh,
Lord
dude,
of
I
the
love
Rings.
Worm Tongue, man. Like,
it fits. I mean,
yeah.
that's
So
a good call.
and what's sad is like Peter, however you pronounce it, it had a super small. Well, the hard thing about like names in Dune is I read them differently than how they're pronounced on screen. So there's a
You
little bit
read
of disconnect.
Powell Atreides. Right?
No, Paul was a pretty easy one.
Powell.
I said in my head I said Leto instead of Leto.
I
but,
think they
just
say
wanted to
Leto
get
in
away
the
from,
in the
like,
original movie.
Jared Leto.
But yeah, I thought Leto or like Leto. Like, did you say Jared
Leto?
Leto?
Another character that
Boo.
another character that's way better in the books is Leto. So
Do you mean Leto?
I thought he was so good in the. I
Oh,
thought he was
he's-
so really good in the movie.
he's still really good in the movie. He's just
Like
like
Oscar Isaac, I
he's my
He's just
favorite.
even
played it
better
really well.
in the book.
He's
Sure,
my
yeah.
favorite character in the first book. Is just because he's just such a great character.
Did you like the reunion? The Josh Brolin and Javier Bardem.
Yeah, it's yeah. I'll just
Little
say
No Country for Old Men reunion.
Well, there were a lot of reunions, right? There was Zendaya and Jessica, who were both in The Greatest Showman. There was who else?
Also, isn't Josh
Brolin who was Thanos and Aquaman?
Zendaya also in.
That's just to make the nerds mad.
Is Josh Brolin? Isn't he never on screen with Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men? Don't they never share a scene along with like? I didn't think any. Of the three
technically, they don't like talk to each other, but they are
shoot
like
at each other.
They are in scenes with each other.
Yeah, they are. Like they have gunfights. That's like they don't talk to each other. Like then the scene where we don't see the scene where what happens like when one finally catches the other.
So Landon may be right.
Well, Javier Bardem's character doesn't. Okay, spoilers, but spoilers for No Country for Old Men, so don't listen. But Javier Bardem's character does not. I don't believe he kills Josh Brolin's character. It's just random. It's just random like cartel people. I'm pretty sure. Right?
Oh, I thought
like in random hotel.
Yeah, in a random hotel. Yeah.
Dang.
He sees that lady at the pool, and then they're out there, and then they're not out there, and then the people roll up and shoot, bang, bang. And then Tommy Lee Jones is, I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah.
He just nopes out.
Yeah.
Man, that's a great movie.
He's like this is no country for old men.
I love when they say the title of the movie in the movie.
Oh, the title drop is just so great.
That's like a top 5 movie, I think, for me.
I do like that movie a lot. I love Coen Brothers, though, so like that's not even my favorite Coen Brothers movie. But
what is it? Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
No,
Big Lebowski, right?
It would be it'd be Fargo, and then The Big Lebowski, and then probably No Country for Old Men.
True Grit. Oh.
And it sometimes goes back and forth for Fargo and Big Lebowski. I like those two movies
and True Grit
a lot.
I need to rewatch.
Stop
Fargo.
saying True Grit.
I watched the Big Lebowski.
Did you not like that movie?
No, True Grit was fine, but it's not like anywhere near my favorite Coen Brothers movie.
I think I like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou so much just because it's just so much. It's just unique.
It's so fun. It's such a fun
It's so
movie.
funny. It's fun. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's just and it's got like the same kind of dark humor, but in just such a different light. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
It's one of their fewer like PG movies, right? Isn't it PG?
It might be PG-13.
The rest are probably rated R.
Most of them are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hudsucker Proxy, I think, is PG, but and Raising Arizona is probably PG-13. Lady Killers is a movie that wasn't received very well.
Brother, Where Art Thou was PG-13.
Okay, Lady Killers is one that wasn't received very well. That's the one that has Tom Hanks, but I actually think that movie is pretty funny. You guys should consider checking it out.
As a whole, I don't like this one, but like Brad Pitt's performance in Burn After Reading.
Oh, as the jogger,
it's probably like, dude, he's hysterical. As like the gym employee, like he's so funny.
That movie has some funny moments that like George Clooney in the basement with the bike.
Yeah, or like the end with like John Malkovich, like the very end, where he just like goes like berserk. Like, I'll be right back.
That's yeah. I love Coen Brothers movies. So how did we get on to them from Dune?
Oh, what about Llewyn Davis?
Oh, yeah.
Actors and actresses.
You like that one?
A reunion between Javier Bardem and Josh Brolin, something like that. I think.
What about Hail Caesar?
Hail Caesar, I wasn't a huge fan of, but Inside Llewyn Davis, you did mention that one. That one also is really good.
How about
that
the Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
So depressing. I have not finished that. I need to watch that again.
That movie's kind of grim. There's some grim on that. There's some like really sad stuff.
But so Dune 2, that comes out I almost said 2013. 2023.
2020.
Dave, that was 8 years ago. Almost
I
9.
know. Colby was a wee child.
I was 13.
That's a wee child.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, like, Colby's like, 13's not that far away, but then I'm here thinking, like, 13 was very far away.
You're an old man.
I'm not Landon, not yet. Well, yeah, Dune was good. I'm excited for the next one. It's gonna be a while, but any other Dune stuff?
Rebecca Ferguson was good as Lady Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably the best acting in the whole movie was done by her, I think.
Nah, Dave Bautista.
I like. I noticed it was when he was like cutting the heads off the Atreides. He's like, "Rah! Rah! Rah! Rah!" It's so funny.
It's almost good as his acting in Army of the Dead or whatever.
Oh
whatever
gosh, no. My daughter. We gotta save her.
How does this compare to Denis Villeneuve's other movies?
I'd say it's hard because it's like I've only seen Sicario and this one. I haven't seen Blade Runner, I haven't seen Arrival, and I haven't seen Prisoners. So I can't really rate it. I liked it more than Sicario on a pure like enjoyment basis, but I think Sicario does some things better. I don't know. It's hard. I'd say they're about the same.
I would rank them Arrival number 1, probably Blade Runner 2049 2, 3 probably Sicario, 4 it's been a long time, so I'm probably gonna put Dune last. I'm probably gonna go Prisoners and Dune.
Have you seen Prisoners?
Yeah, it's been a long time though. It's been probably like 8 years or so.
Hugh Jackman was.
Colby
Really
said
good
I
in
was
that.
13.
I was gonna say 2013.
That's not a knock on Dune by any stretch. I just really, really like his other movies.
That's fair.
Arrival. Arrival is probably top 2 or 3 sci-fi movies, and actually Blade Runner 2049 is probably top 2 or 3.
Did we go see Arrival in theaters, Landon? Did we go to the
yeah, you, Ben, and I think.
Yeah.
That is like Arrival is a smaller scale film. Like it's like there's still really impressive visuals, but it's a lot more personal of a story. And then I felt like Blade Runner 2049 like has the spectacle, like the visuals, like it's just like Dune. Like actually, I like they're about the same, but like it's like the visuals are so good and the story is really engaging in that one. So if you like
Arrival has Forrest Whitaker.
Yep.
What's his line from Star Wars?
Bucolic! You know the truth.
Saw Gerrera.
Yeah,
One of the best Star Wars characters.
lies.
Lies, deception.
Have you guys seen?
Yeah,
are Colby and I the only ones that seen Arrival, or?
I've not seen Arrival. I really want to. I've heard nothing but good things.
I've never been on this side of like the discussion of like no one else has seen it.
Now, Colby, you
That's
watched it with
usually
Landon
me,
though, so
that's
were you
the
really paying attention, or?
Ben and I were fighting over him.
Pretty sure that came out in like 2017.
2016.
Yeah, you're going to jail.
The cinematographer of Dune, he's also going to be working on, or did work on, the Batman.
Ooh.
I was like, that's why some of the shots were so cool in the Batman.
Well, he worked on the Batman, he worked on Mandalorian,
Yeah.
and he also worked on Rogue One. So,
he also did
like
Jew
his-
Boy in 2005.
Okay.
No comment.
That is not a lie, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Has anybody else seen Blade Runner 2049? Or am
No,
I
I
the
wanna
only?
watch
I have not.
Okay. So I'm like
he did-
I'm the only fan of this director because I think I've seen all his movies. So
Okay. Sure, Landon. You have one biggest fan.
No, give yourself a pat. You give yourself a pat on the back, Landon.
I'm gonna clap
let's do
real
it.
quick.
Yeah, clap real quick.
I just want listeners to know that was Landon clapping. No one else was.
I think I gave Dune like probably an 8.9. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Gets like one thumb out of 2, I think.
Use your words carefully.
I'm gonna give it a.
You chose very poor words. I would say probably like a 9 out of 10. Maybe it's just the hype, but it was awesome.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 with the potential to be higher after I read the book because I just felt like there was too much. Like I wanted more from it. I guess that I didn't like certain aspects of it. So I think after I read
I scored mine pretty low too.
Yeah,
Landon's like,
you used like a
read the-
stupid scale. So
read
like,
the book. Read the book, Landon. Yeah.
Landon's like, I want more, but I know I shouldn't.
yeah. Maybe just another slice. Maybe just a little bit more. What's the harm? Maybe just a taste.
Will is
What would you give it?
Probably a 9, 9.5, one of those two.
Will's
First
not
viewing
going to
a 9.
recover from
Second,
Landon's.
I'm just
Someone's
gonna
gotta
mute
move
Landon
on.
from now on.
I'll give it a score once I see it a second time.
Okay, that's fair.
But
Colby's like
hopefully
1.5 thumbs out of 2.
spoilers.
Cool. So what's next to talk about?
I want to jump to another movie. I know it's not on the list, but I'm just gonna like interject that Will and
Sure,
I went
Landon, you can just talk.
Will and I went and saw Last Night in Soho.
Oh, I want to see that.
Last week.
It was good.
Yeah, another solid movie from Edgar Wright.
Mm-hmm.
I also like there was a lot like I liked a lot in the movie, but there was also like there was quite a few things that kind of annoyed me about it.
Well,
just like pacing and like
they could have cut 30 minutes and it would have been a lot better movie.
Yeah, a lot in the middle. I felt like got a little bit.
Because the hard part is that like the movie is really strong in the beginning and towards like really leading up to the middle, and then like the last 15 minutes are pretty good, but like everything in between that can be like cut in half, scrunched down, because there's this section of the movie where it's just suspenseful, like thrilling kind of stuff, where it's like, oh, there's this jump scare, or oh, there's this like this suspenseful situation that the main character is in, and then it just goes from one to the other, one to the other, one to the other for
without
way
much
too long.
development to the actual
Without
plot.
much development, and it really drags the movie down from being great to like good. Like it's a good movie, but I wouldn't say like I went from Dune to this movie and then back to Dune. Like, because I saw Dune in IMAX, saw this movie, then saw Dune in IMAX, and it was like night and day between like craft and like just everything. And it was, I just really don't think that the movie told the story like very paced out in a good way. Like Dune might have been a bit light on content, but like as far as the book goes, it went pretty through things in a pretty organized manner. This movie, Last Night in Soho, is a bit of a mess. Without spoilers, it's kind of like it kind of jumps from one idea to the other, and then like the twists kind of undercut it a bit. I don't know. How
does it compare like in kind of the feel and I guess the overall like style of the movie? How does it compare to his other movies?
It's very
to me
stylish.
It's
an Edgar Wright movie. Like you can tell.
You can seeing Baby Driver and seeing this film. It's like you can tell. Like it's like the music is used really similarly.
Yep,
quick cuts. Very dramatic scenes, dancing scenes. Like
what role does Nick Frost play?
He is not in the movie. I don't.
No.
Then is it really an Edgar Wright film?
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
It's good though. I like the main character. I felt like she had a pretty relatable, like she's like the small town, like sheltered person going to like the big city.
So it's
and
Landon?
I felt like, I felt like it was relatable. I felt like they made her character like pretty, like it was easy to like root for her, like empathize with what she was going through.
Yeah.
So I liked that. And then the visuals are really good. There's some like really cool, like scenes with like how they're, cause like, I don't know how much we want to go into the plot cause it's
Dave hasn't seen it yet. And I think Michael also wants to see it. So
I would say go and watch it. It's a good like thriller, and if you like Edgar Wright, you would like it.
It's really sad because I think it's underperforming at the box office.
Yeah,
and it's like I know Eternals will blow like a bunch, like blow records out of the water for like how much money
is
it's
that what
make,
people are
probably.
expecting?
I don't know.
I'm not looking.
It's got like a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes.
53.
I think
no.
Yeah, it's like the lowest MCU movie.
Well, what I'm saying is like it's just like it's an MCU movie. It'll do well, you know. Like that's all I'm trying to say. Like
people would rather funnel to watch that crap than like go see something that's like different.
Yeah, and so like that's the thing that's getting frustrating.
Landon's trying so hard to be different right now.
I'm saying I would much rather like Last Night in Soho, while not like a great movie, I would probably also score it like a 7 out of 10. Like it's worth it alone to go watch because it's something that's different. Like I mean, it has an inspiration from other things, but like at least it's like something that is not just the same. You know what I mean? Like
it's something that is, I feel like, underrepresented, like in the box office, which is kind of like a thriller, like mystery, like kind of has that like fantasy element of I don't want to say too much, but it feels like it's not there's not a lot of things like it, even though the plot is fairly like quote basic end quote. It's not very represented in like this type of movie isn't well represented. I mean, you see basically you just bunch of see is like a sequels and like action movies the most is what you see, and this is not really either of those.
Oh, it's Jungle Cruise, Dwayne the Rock Johnson's new movie. Oh yeah, like
What do you have
Fast
against
Furious?
What do you have against The
like
Rock?
Fast and Furious
No.
35. Oh,
This is just Landon's like
the Avengers
pushback against
20.
the mouse.
If you just let Landon rant for a second, he'll be okay.
Like the droves of millions and millions that go watch like the same like Marvel movie. Like, oh wow, that was amazing. Oh, it blew my mind. Like, oh
Someone
God,
say capitalism. I want to see what Landon says.
The implications for the MCU will never be the same after this film. Oh
yeah.
my God!
If you like Marvel, like if you like Marvel movies, that's cool. But it's like
No, Landon's more of a DC fan.
yeah.
Let's go, baby. Snyder cut. Let's go. Give it to me. It wasn't long enough. It wasn't long enough. Snyder cut 2. The Snyder cut 2.
I feel like Snyder really held Snyder back, and so we need like a Snyderless Snyder cut.
I want the 8. I want the real time cut. I want like the 30-hour cut. It's just like Ben Affleck sleeping in his bed for like 10 hours.
Bring it on. I'd watch Affleck sleep.
Yeah.
What?
Seen Gone Girl?
No.
Wait, you haven't seen Gone Girl?
That's a good movie.
I don't know if
I've seen that one.
That's a really good movie.
It's a really good movie.
You don't know if you want to see it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's really good.
Scary.
It is really good.
I mean, it's not scary. It's more just disturbing.
Oh, it's like the real kind of scary.
yeah,
Like,
it's like
Yeah.
it's like the
That's what I
real
don't
kind
like.
of scary. Like, oh God, like what if this happened to me? Like,
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to hope that I can find a woman and marry her someday and be happy. I feel like if I see that movie, I'm just gonna like start acting like Landon or something.
what?
I'm not gonna like it.
What?
Okay,
You
let me
heard
check
him.
the list. Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass. For 2 episodes in, I think Landon's finished it.
Yeah.
I really like it so far. I am more interested in the actual characters and what they're doing than any of the horror implications.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because it's a horror show, quote unquote horror show. But I am way more interested in any of the characters. Like when the horror stuff starts reappearing, I'm kind of like, all right, let's get on with it. Almost at that point, it's like at this point in the show, it's like I'm more interested in how the characters deal with their problems, and that is like the best praise I could ever almost give a show, especially a horror show.
The horror is a backdrop. It's like a catalyst for like the events that are happening in that show.
Will talking made me think of The Leftovers.
The Leftovers is
there's,
so good.
There's this interesting thing that happens, but really what the story and the show is about is kind of just the life of all these characters kind of with a backdrop of this weird phenomenon that happens at the very beginning of the series.
I need to rewatch that show.
It's probably more focused than The Leftovers from what it sounds like.
Okay.
Because this is more of a mini series. It's not like a seasoned show.
Yeah.
And so like it feels like an extended movie focused on these characters, but there's horror elements thrown in. It's like it's like 70-30%, 70 characters, 30 horror, pretty much.
Yeah.
I would say. So far, at least.
I'll give a basic for like the listeners. I'll give a basic rundown of the plot, like not spoiler, but like just the premise of the show. It's about what's the main character's name again? Shoot, I'm so bad.
Is it
bad.
Joe?
Wow.
No, it's not Joe.
It's Paul.
Pow!
It's Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista plays.
Oh man, I'm gonna watch that.
Okay, Riley.
So it's about this guy Riley. The show opens. He kills a girl in a drunk driving accident and is sentenced to like I think 4 years in prison. And when he's released, he returns to his hometown, which is a small island town, I think, off the East Coast, like kind of like off like Maine or somewhere, like some
Maine,
town,
Massachusetts or something.
Yeah, it's a fishing town that is like suffering through like economic like fallout. Like there was an oil spill, like that happened years before, and there's not as much fish and stuff, and the town is basically dying. Essentially, like it's dying off. People are leaving. There's like only like maybe like 100 or 200 people that live there.
124 or 7, one of those two.
Yeah. So it's this town that's like in this like state of desperation, and there's like there is deep like there's like deep rooted like there's a Catholicism there, and they have like an old like they sent their old what would it be priest off to visit the Holy Land. Like he's very old. He's been the priest of the town for forever, and so they have like a substitute priest arrives, and essentially strange borderline. You're 2 episodes in, Will?
Yeah.
Essentially like strange like miraculous things start happening in the town. And it's this intriguing like dialogue and like contrast between the characters, like kind of through the main character Riley's perspective. He's someone that's lost his faith and is very rational and like looks at things logically, and it's like him and the contrast of the town people, like almost this town's so desperate to believe in something that they're like blown away by these miracles, and it's just all these people like dealing with like what's happening on this island, and that's all I would want to say about it. Essentially, this is a good cast of characters that all are very complex and have different motives and like questions revolving faith and
viewpoints on faith. It's I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm really interested to see where it goes.
I would say I've never thought television or movies like many that I've watched like have handled the topic of faith in a very good way. Either it's
What about Lost?
Lost is okay. Lost does an okay job at it. But I would say like
What about Smallville?
Gosh, I have not seen Smallville. But either most television either like is almost like a borderline mockery of faith, or it's like the people that made Facing the Giants, where it's basically just it's designed for people that like just want to reaffirm
what they already
their beliefs. Yeah, what they already believe. If like we don't talk about like I mean, we're all Christians on this show and stuff, and we don't talk about it too much. But as someone that like frequently like grapples with their faith, I found this show like really, really like interesting and thought provoking as far as that. Like it handles it really well.
It's nice because there's some scenes in the show that like it's not like one argument or one side or one school of thought is trumping the other, or is just this there's this argument that is just so good it doesn't preach to you. It just like it lays out the facts of what it means to like what it kind of means to like believe in something, a higher power, and like some of the really hard questions that come with like believing in a higher power, and what does that actually mean for like depravity, and what it means for people who have bad things done to them and like they didn't deserve it, and what it means for just everybody in general. And it's such a good, like, so far it's such a good look at it. I'm really hoping it doesn't go full horror at the end. I don't know if it will. But I would watch a show for a long time about just these characters' lives. Like I'm content with that. And so that's probably the highest praise I can give it for now.
Yay.
Cool.
So I would say it's the best new show I've watched, like a show that's like released this year. It's the best one I've seen.
Better than The Wire?
The Wire didn't come out this year.
Oh,
And I think
How
Landon
much
would
you guys
probably
talk
say
about
no,
it?
would be my
I thought it was a
guess.
brand new show.
Gosh darn it.
Michael, you really hate The Wire.
I don't hate The Wire. I'm just sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
He hasn't watched it all yet. Just watch it. Just watch just a couple more episodes.
Stop.
Just an episode.
No, stop. No, Dave. I called you Landon because of that stupid catchphrase.
All right, what else we got, Dave?
Oh goodness, we probably won't get to everything.
Everything.
But
Squid Game.
Well,
Squid Game.
You want to talk about Squid Game?
Squid Game. It's the
let's take
cultural phenomenon.
Oh
Squid
my gosh.
Game.
I was gonna say
Should
let's
we
take a
take
break of talking about a show
should we
and talk
take a
about a
break
video
with
game,
shows?
because I
Dude, how
played.
does Landon ruin everything?
I played.
How is he so bad at it?
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
I don't know. I played Metroid Dread, and it's my game of the year so far. It's easily some of the most fun I've had in a game in years. And that's saying something because I played a lot of good games over the past couple of years, but this one is really special. It's if you have a Switch, I would highly recommend it. It's probably the best kind of quote Metroidvania end quote I've played, and I haven't played many, but I've played Ori, I've played a little bit of Bloodstained, I've played some of the other, like I played Metroid Prime, and I've played Metroid.
Metroid Prime is a
Dread.
Metroidvania, right?
It kind of is.
Because it's a 3D Metroid game.
Right. Well, the only difference about it is that it's 3D instead of 2D, but it still
Like,
does.
it still has the
has
same-
that formula where
Yeah.
you roam around, collect upgrades, and then progress through things after collecting things. So that formula is really good, and Metroid Dread does a great job. It's cinematic. The story is simple enough to understand. You don't have to play any of the previous Metroids. It's just like it's one of the best like solid like 9.5 or 10 games you could play. It's just solid in every single aspect. I can't find like a brutal flaw in it.
When does it come out on PS5?
Let me check the date. Get a Switch, you moron. That's when it comes out on PS5.
Now, Donkey said it was just parry the game. So is that true or?
Well, did you watch the Donkey video?
I did, yeah.
Oh, I can't tell if he was being serious or not. I mean,
well, all the stuff he was saying, like the first half of the video, like I'm pretty sure was parody. So I think he liked the game.
Yeah, I think it's parry the game to an extent, but also the parry is like hard to time at points, especially
like parrying,
bosses. And parrying is super satisfying. So if he's complaining that there's too much of a satisfying mechanic, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell him then.
I mean, parrying, I don't know if it's true or not. I just brought it up because it's the only reference I have for Metroid Dread. But if like parrying is like the thing you do the most in the game, like I don't know if that's
a bad thing. Yeah.
No, a good thing.
Wait, why?
That's not the main thing I want to do in a game is parry.
No.
It's definitely not the main thing you do in the game.
Oh, okay.
I watched Donkey do it like 3,000 times in this video.
That's because he throws all the clips of him parrying together. Like you can defeat a lot of enemies by parrying, but it's not necessarily the most. Like, I mean, you can't even play the game because you don't have a Switch, so it's okay. And you hate Nintendo, so I don't value your opinion on anything.
No one loves Nintendo more than me.
Mick, are you gonna get Metroid?
I just borrowed from Will.
Yeah. I could let you borrow it. It's a really good game.
There you go.
I got the
Make
demo.
him buy it,
I got
Will.
the demo, so I'm gonna try it. Will.
Oh
Make
yeah,
him
there's a demo
buy
out,
it.
so I'd highly recommend. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it. Play it if you like exploration games and adventure games and like collecting upgrades and then looking and feeling more cool and powerful. And then it's a really cool feeling and experience.
And if you like Tyler Perry.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Tyler Perry's Metroid Dread. Like,
Will, you bought a game for Landon.
Oh yeah, I did. I did buy. Actually, I bought 10 games for Landon.
dude, Will's such a good friend.
Yeah, I saw it on sale for like $120. And,
okay, all right.
And
like Will's like,
I knew
nice.
I had to get it for Landon. It's the Kingdom Hearts collection, 10 games for the low price of. It was $20. It was super cheap. It was like the most dirt cheap I've ever seen Kingdom Hearts, and so I'm like, oh, like I bought it as a joke.
Yeah, Will messaged me. He's like, I was buying this for me. Should I get this for Landon? And I was like, do it.
Because I was gonna buy it for myself because I'm missing some of the games on PS4, and it's cheaper to buy the 10 game collection than it is any other game.
That's how they get you.
I want to ask one question. I will probably play the games at some point, but like, what do you guys think the crossover, like the Venn diagram of like people that really love Kingdom Hearts and like people that are furries? Like, what's the like crossover? Like, because I feel like it's pretty high, right?
It probably
Will
looks
and
like
I are both furries, so
that answers it right there. It probably looks like the smallest like sliver of moon, like that. The little part that's just yeah.
I don't know. We should ask Colby, our resident like furry expert. So
No. Actually, Dave, like if you were a furry, like I probably wouldn't be your friend.
Wow, you're that shallow.
I'll say that right now. Yeah.
You care more about like how people
Whether the fact,
dress than what's on the inside, like how they are true themselves.
you didn't see my furry closet when you visited here with all my outfits and
Guess I didn't
vents and
open that
flaps and masks and
flaps, tails, and
other.
You have a scratch post.
no, I bet Dave's like a pink wolf or something like that.
Yeah, do you
What's wrong with
like
the color pink?
we just go to Vegas to surprise Dave? Like we knock on a door and like it's like open a crack. We like walk in. Dave's just like
Grooming myself.
yeah, like what?
I don't know if that's a real, like, you know,
I
there's
think
a
I
real
called
crossover
cops.
there. I don't know if there's a real crossover with
dude,
Kingdom
they're
Hearts.
dude.
and-
No, there
No.
is, dude.
I
Like,
think you have a big.
all right, Kingdom Hearts fans
misconception
that
about
are
Kingdom Hearts.
that are adults that like.
well, the thing is that most Kingdom Hearts fans are actually adults because they grew up playing the game.
yeah.
So
'Cause the first
Or
game
did they
was
ever
like
grow?
2001
Did they
or
ever grow up?
2002.
Did they ever actually grow up though? Like,
Are you saying I didn't grow
Landon's
up?
looking for the
Landon?
triple Venn
Is that what you're
diagram:
telling me?
Kingdom Hearts, furries, and
Sonic the Hedgehog fans. Like,
Oh.
Sonic
That's
fan
you,
art.
Landon. That's
Like,
you.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
I
more
forsook-
crossover there.
I forsook my Sonic.
No, you
ways.
didn't. No,
Uh-huh,
no, you didn't.
No.
Don't lie
I
to
don't
us.
believe you.
Don't lie to the listeners.
I keep the Sonic costume in the basement of my house.
Oh no, not the basement.
Let's go. Let it in there.
Hey, you wanna?
I bet like
Oh.
once a year you're painting your
Yeah,
entire body
is your-
blue. Like you just paint your entire body blue.
Hey,
Fast.
Sonic!
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
Oh God. Yeah, my
so
basement's
speaking
not
of your
great.
basement.
Yeah.
So
What happened?
so I may have talked about the last time that I had issues with my basement. I can't remember if we talked about it on the show, but like I had some
pretty
minor
sure we did.
mishaps. Yeah, so I had some minor mishaps down there. And then this last weekend, I worked all day Saturday on call, and Sunday morning I woke up and was making breakfast, and I'm like, should probably start a little laundry before I sit down and enjoy my tasty breakfast and watch football. So I grabbed my laundry basket and I walked to the edge of the stairs and I turned the light on, and I didn't even have to go downstairs. I could just see like the carpet glistening, like in my like my basement living room. And I was just like, I set the basket down. I walked back in the kitchen, like finished making my breakfast, like ate it, and then went down to find like the 2.5 inches of standing water all throughout the basement of my house.
Your own home?
And yeah, my own home filled with my own filth water from the sewage.
So it was you in our hotel in Anaheim. That was you. It was all your fault.
It was me. So I spent all day Sunday after I had the plumber come out and snake the drain, which was clogged with tree roots from the big tree in my front yard. After he cleared that, I spent the rest of the day cutting up sewage-soaked carpet from that room and dragging it up the stairs like dead bodies and throwing it into like my
Bedroom.
No, I threw it outside. I think that might
Oh,
be
I'm
the.
here now.
I think like that might be the most defeated I've ever felt as like a human being. Like, you know, 6 o'clock at night, like sawzalling the strips of carpet that are soaking wet, like it's like sewage water splashing everywhere. At the end of it, after I dragged all the carpet out, I literally like I was wearing a pair of jeans and like a t-shirt. I literally was like from probably like the chest down, just literally soaked to the bone in like sewage water. It's Halloween night. Like I take it like after I drag it all out. Like, so I get all the carpet out. I'm soaked. I take a shower, which I'm gonna say that's the best shower I've ever taken.
But it was just refilling your basement at the same time.
Yeah, because it was it was draining because like the line was cleared. So after I did that, it's now like 6 o'clock at night. I've had several trick or treaters coming to my door. I have no candy. I meant to get candy earlier, but like, you know, the sewage line
Here,
backed
take
up.
a piece of this carpet.
I thought about cutting up the carpet into little like small chunks, and like when they say trick or treat, I go trick and just start tucking it. You know what I mean? Like just plopping wet sewage carpet into their bag of candy. Like, oh, here you go. Your parents probably really like me. Like, I drive to the store.
Scary
Like,
man.
I'm not gonna lie. The first kids that knocked on the door, like after I had taken the shower, so I was like in like gym shorts and like a t-shirt, like a fresh t-shirt. Like I walk to the door and open it, and they're like trick or treat. Like there's like 5 of them. I'm like, hey, I'm like really sorry, but like I don't have any candy. Like, and I kid you not, this like 9-year-old kid looked at me in the eyes and like he felt bad for me. Like he wasn't sad that I didn't have candy. Like he could just tell.
Gee,
that,
it's
like,
okay, mister.
Like. Yeah, like that's
It's
like he
gonna
was like
get better.
that's what he said.
promise.
He said, "Oh, it's okay." Like, they're like, so I'm like, screw this, man. Like, I hop in my car, I drive to Lowe's to get some. Like, I had to get a squeegee to squeegee up the rest of the sewage water that was on the other. Because like most of it drained, but like some of the rooms aren't quite level, like or they don't slope all the way to the floor drain. So I go to Lowe's to get a squeegee, and I was gonna get like box fans. So then they didn't have any box fans there, so I go to Walmart. And I'm walking with the shopping cart through Walmart, and I see the candy at like the front of the store. You know, they have like the pre-opened boxes, like with like the king size candy bars.
Yeah.
I'm like, screw this. Like, I can't be like my first year as a homeowner and like not give any candy out on Halloween. So I just
Get, like,
grabbed
0 the next year.
So I grabbed like
It's smelly, man.
I probably grabbed like 80 king size candy bars, throw them in the cart, grab 3 box fans, check out. I have the dude at the cash register just like counting the candy bars out. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man, like that you have to do this. He's like, oh, it's all right, man. Like I had the box fans, and he's like, oh, just getting ready for next year. I'm like, no, my basement flooded with sewage water. And he's like, oh, that sucks. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, hasn't been the best day.
He said, "Oh, so, it's gonna be okay. It's okay."
And then I went home and I had, I think, approximately 6 more trick or treaters come by. So now I have like a 74 king size candy bars just like laying on my living room floor. Like, then I spent like the next 2 hours squeegeeing up sewage water to the floor drain in my house. I'll tell you what, man. Like the next day when I got home from work. Like, there's nothing like walking from like 50-degree like fall weather into your house. It's like 70 degrees and getting like that 20-degree temp difference, and then just getting hit with like just a wave of like sewage smell. It really like there's really no way to like. I mean, you get used to it fairly quickly. It takes about 10 minutes to get used to it, but like there's just nothing like that first hit. Like,
so why are we recording remotely today?
I mean, for multiple reasons, but this would be one of them. I got some Febreze. Like the first night I just got Febreze, and I just walked back into my house and I just pulled the trigger down on the bottle, and I just didn't let off. I just walked through the entire. Grenade. Basically, I walked through the entire.
Yeah, you rubber banded the trigger, and you just
like in the basement.
Down the basement.
Cover.
So I mean, I just walked through the entire house in the basement with this can of Febreze. I didn't let off the trigger, and man, I'll tell you what, didn't make a dent. Like it just didn't even make a dent in the smell.
Oh god!
So the second day, night 2, I go to Lowe's again. I get like a gallon of bleach and a mop, and I go down the basement and I get rid of all the other stuff that's soaked because I had a bunch of stuff down there from like when I was like doing all the remodeling upstairs that was just laying in the basement that got soaking wet. So I threw all the rest of that stuff away that was wet, like cardboard and rags and stuff. And then I strip down to like my underwear, like a white undershirt, and I throw rain boots on.
And you just dove right in.
No, and then I got like a 5-gallon bucket full of like hot water and like way more bleach than I should have, and I just mopped the entire basement with bleach water, rinsed it. I mean, I couldn't smell anything after that because like it was just like my head was just pounding and like it was just like a bleach smell. Like I probably like caused like brain damage.
Dude, what if you had died
down
there?
Like, you could have like killed yourself, right?
Nah,
like,
I would have been fine, man. It's fine. There's
like if you passed out down there, like
but then my problems would be over. Like it would be then someone else's problems.
No.
And an even worse smell.
They would have found my crumpled up body in my rain boots and like my underwear, like crumpled over by a box fan, like.
King size Snickers bar in your hand.
I felt like Walter White in the first episode of Breaking Bad. Like,
oh my god.
So now the smell is like reduced to like I turned the heat off to my house for like 2 days because I'm like it's just probably better like if I'm not pulling air from like the basement like cycling it through like my entire house. The smell is like very it's still there, but like it's more like you get hit with a brief wave of it when you walk in, and then like within a couple seconds you're
the
used
sampler.
To it. So, yeah. So I'm cutting the tree down this weekend that caused the problem, and then I'm going to kill the tree.
Say, like,
are you cutting it down?
Yeah, I'm going to cut it down. It's not very like the base of the tree like only goes up like maybe 2 feet, and then there's just got like 8 branches that go like another 15 feet in the air, but they all like stem off of the base. So it actually should be like really easy to cut down. I say that I've literally never cut a tree down before, so I have no idea. But and then I bought some like detectors. Like they're like like you put them on the floor by like the floor drain, and they like detect if water like if they get wet they start alarming.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought some of those. So because the only reason this happened is because I just didn't go to the basement for like it was just probably 3 to 4 days worth of showers and dishes and toilet water.
Colby's making that gross face.
It was a really bad weekend. I had a really bad weekend. Probably top 3 like worst weekends in my entire life. Like cuz the day at work before was one of the worst days at work I've ever had. And I am so effing glad that I didn't like get home like an hour earlier and be like, oh, it's Saturday night. Let's just do a load of laundry tonight. Like, to get a head start for tomorrow. Like at least I got like a measly like 6 hours of sleep that I didn't like think that there was a horrific thing happening below me. Because that might have been too much. So
all weekend I was receiving texts from Landon just telling me like how horrible his weekend was. First they were work related, and then Sunday rolls around and they're poop related. So and then like I was telling Dave and Will this, I don't know if it was yesterday or a few days ago, but it seems like every time I go out of town, Landon has a horrific weekend. The first time his basement flooded, he was texting me about it, and I was in Disneyland. And then, like, the next 2 times that I've been out of town without Landon, Vegas trip not included, he's had, one of them was a terrible on-call weekend, and then this one was both a terrible on-call weekend and another flooded basement.
So you're doing this?
So stay tuned. Stay tuned, because stuff might go down in like 2 weeks. I don't know.
The plumber must have thought I was nuts, man. Because when he showed up, I just walked down in the basement barefoot right through all the water, like just to show him where I was. Like, I did not give a crap at that point. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I need to clean I need to clean the rest of my floors too upstairs, because like there was times where I had to like go back and forth. Like I need to like mop everything.
Wait, you didn't, dude? I'm so glad we're recording remotely.
Yeah,
you live in a bacteria-filled home.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, dude, like there's just but like I don't know, man. I need to I just need to clean everything. Like there's just so much.
I'm just glad you won your fantasy game that weekend, because I think you needed it.
Oh yeah, because you
that would have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Because you lost a quarterback. Will picked up from waivers the quarterback and then traded him to you for a pick like minutes before the game started.
Minutes before the game.
And then you only won your matchup by like a few points.
1 point.
And if you hadn't made that trade,
I'm a great trade of the year.
You know what though? Go Cowboys.
Yeah, go Cowboys.
We the boys.
Man, just talking about
let's wrap it up.
Just really like brought me down a little bit. Because I'm thinking about like my gross floors upstairs I need to clean. Like I still need to tear the carpet out of the stairs, because like they didn't get wet, but after I drug up like the rest of the carpet across the stairs, like now they're wet. Was like there was so many gross moments where I like picked up like a chunk of the carpet and like held against my chest. I could just feel the sewage water like squeezing and running out of the carpet into my shirt. Like,
dude, let's wrap it
up. I was just there was like a couple moments I was just like screaming like in the basement, like with the sawzall like cutting the strips up. Like I was just like yelling and like swearing uncontrollably like at the carpet, like just like like.
Dude, you were unhinged.
Dude, I was unhinged Sunday.
It's like what a serial killer does when they chop up bodies down.
I felt that's what I thought, dude. That's what it felt like, man.
Did it feel good?
Did you like it?
Just a little. Just a little what?
I don't.
You taste?
Just a taste.
Just a little sewage carpet.
I'm going to leave soon if we don't wrap it up. Because
you know what though, Landon?
Done.
The next day, that 9-year-old little boy went to school, and everybody was like talking about trick or treating. And they're like, "Oh, how was it?" And he's like, I didn't go trick or treating. I stopped at one house and it just kind of ruined it for me. He's like, maybe I'm too old now.
I saw this sad old man, like, didn't have any candy.
I saw this sad 58-year-old man, and he was too poor to buy candy.
Oh, goodness.
Did he offer you some of his? He was like, it's okay, sir. You can have some of mine.
No, he didn't. I will say, one of the 6 kids that came by that I gave a king-size chocolate bar to, it was a king-size, like, Carmelo, like, chocolate bar. The kid's response was like, why are you giving away chocolate? And I was so mad. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Like, you stupid kid. Like, what? Like, are you kidding? Like, I'm giving you a king size candy bar, and you're like asking questions. How about like, thank you, sir. Yes, thank you. I'll take the king size candy bar. Freaking insignificant. Like, there's like cheap bastards giving away like snack size candy, dude. I'm out here like running this neighborhood, like. And you disrespect me on my own porch? Like, you know who the hell I am?
Like, I'm so scared.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This has been it for the Hotkeys podcast.
I'm good.
Okay.
Well,
Goodbye.
Yeah. So I don't have anything else to talk about.
No,
Yeah.
me neither.
I don't either.
I'm done.
I think we end on
yeah.
that note.
Yeah.
We end on that note.
Yeah, we'll talk
Wrapping
about,
up on that note.
We'll talk about some other stuff next week, and we'll see how unhinged Landon has become next week. So.
I definitely vote to not go back to Landon's house ever again. So
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
smell will be gone next week, I promise.
Thanks for listening,
Thanks for
guys.
listening to the Hotkeys podcast.
Talk to you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
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 Just a taste.
Dude, Landon, you were so loud.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.